Welcome to week 13 of the 52-week art journal journey. This week, you're going to need some extra paper, just a bit smaller than your journal page. So you also need scissors if you need to trim it to size. You'll probably also want some extra paper for some extra color fun beyond this week's small art journal page. You will also need some acrylic paint. Black for this page, plus some others, a paintbrush, and a black gel pen or fine marker or other black inked writing / drawing implement. Remember to start your art on the page opposite from your writing hand so you can journal while your small art dries a bit between steps. It would be a very good idea to protect your work surface. First thing you need to do is crumple up your piece of paper. The first step is to crumple up your piece of paper. Then open it back up and lay it down to cover with a not super thick layer of black paint. There are two ways to make the print on your journal page. You can lay the painted paper on your page. You will probably be neater than I was and have less paint on your fingers. The other way is to open up your journal and lay the page on the painted surface. I found I preferred the first, but both work. Do what works best for you. While your print dries, it's time to do some journaling, and why not take some time to play with this fun, simple printing process. Get out some more paper and some colors and see what other utterly unique prints you can come up with. Try crumpling up the paper again and maybe again and again. Add different colors each time. You can never know exactly what each print will look like. Some results you may like better than others, and that's okay. After you've had some more printmaking fun, or before if you decide to do your journaling first, take a look at your art journal print. Does it remind you of anything? Do any parts of it look like something? It's kind of like looking for objects in the clouds. Maybe my asking you to look at it like that reminds you of a Rorschach test. But don't worry, whatever you think you see, you're not crazy. We often notice different things about something when we stop and really look. The same can be true when we give ourselves a little distance and maybe even let the edges blur a bit in our vision. And that's sort of what our art journaling is about this week. Write about a memory or a situation on which you gained a different perspective with passing time. After you've taken some time to journal, the second part of this week's small art is all about relaxing. Take your chosen writing implement and slowly, in one single connected line, trace your print. The object is to trace around your shape without raising your hand from the paper. Focusing on this will allow you to let go of things that are bothering you and just focus on the simple act of tracing. I have to admit, cramps in my shoulder did cause me to raise my pen from the paper. But again, the larger object, not merely not raising our pen from the paper, is to relax, to focus on this moment, this act, and give ourselves the chance to relax, to get grounded in the reality of this moment. Not what lies ahead that we may have to deal with, not what was bothering us before. Just this moment, this act of art making. Maybe you think of it as just making a line, but you have to admit it is also some pretty interesting artwork and very relaxing. I was enjoying it so much that after I finished tracing, I went back in and started filling in some empty areas. Thank you for joining me for week 13 of the 52-week art journal journey. I hope you find a blessing in this week's small art and journaling prompts. If you found value in this video, please like, share, subscribe. If you're new here, you can learn more through the links in the description. There are also links to follow along on Instagram and Facebook, as well as to sign up for an extra bit of weekly creative encouragement in your inbox. You can also check out the weekly prompts in written form on my website. To be honest, there is always something I leave out of the video and think of later, so you might want to check that out. Last but not least of the links in the description is the opportunity to be gifted a $50 Blick Art Materials gift certificate for my birthday. The drawing will be held Tuesday, April 11th. It's 50 for my 50th. Thanks again for watching and for giving me the opportunity to encourage you to reclaim your creativity and establish a healthy habit of creative self-care through art journaling.